And my husband tried to restrain her to keep her from hurting us, and he couldn't.
At 1.5 years old, they wanted to do a test on her sexual transmitted disease. At 1.5 years old, Barb?
And we asked her, what do you want, child? And she said, I want you to go down there.
I interviewed Russ Dizdar, over tens of millions of people that are victims of SRA, satanic ritual abuse. And we're going to be talking about that tonight. But does this sound like a Hollywood horror movie? It sounds like it, but it's not. It's real. And tonight, we're going to deal with a subject matter that most people wouldn't even want to touch. Oh, no, don't ask a pastor to get up in the pulpit and start dealing with this. First of all, most of them, they don't believe in it, even though they say they do. And they wouldn't know what to do with it if you gave it to them. But you see, God uses people like you and I and my next guest to be able to rattle the cages of hell and make the demons quiver. And that's what's happening tonight. They're shaking in their boots. My guest with me tonight, her name is Barb. She has battled these demons we're talking about with a young child, a baby, even under the age of 1. Now, Barb, you're going to remain anonymous. I know you guys see a bar going across Barb's face, and that's not a mistake. That is because I want to honor, and she wants to honor, the privacy of her family. And there's things that we might say tonight that she would rather stay anonymous. And I just appreciate, Barb, you coming on and willing to share with the people out there, with God's people, what you've been going through. But there's a lot of accounts of children in the Bible that deals with demonic possession. Barb, do you feel like you've been alone, before we get into your story, of dealing with a child that's been demonically oppressed, possessed?
Yeah. You're in this walk.
Yeah.
It's a very lonely walk.
Let's go back when it started. You and your husband adopted 2 children from Russia. Yeah. Okay, but I want to talk about their siblings, but I want to talk about the younger child, the female. Yeah. When you adopted her, what age was she?
She was 2.
She was 2 years old?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. After you adopted her, how long was it that you discovered that there was some demonic activity, and how was that displayed?
Well, probably maybe half a year. And she had a lot of food allergies, and she was in the crib, and she would never let me hold her, didn't want to be comforted, and she had really bad pain from eating a little bit of ice cream and was screaming and crying, and I had my hand on her back, and I was just trying to comfort her, and she suddenly turned at me and looked and said, "Go away," like that. And I was like, whoa, what was that? I was scared. I was literally scared.
So, Barb, how old was she when this demon voice? And that wasn't her voice, right?
No, it was very deep. It was very gruff. I know it wasn't a man's voice, but it was gruff and, like a growl.
All right. And how old was she?
She was about 3.5, I want to say. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So when you heard this voice come out of her, could it have been possible that she had just, I don't know, at the age of 3, watched a movie and she saw somebody growling and doing something? Or was this clearly a voice that was not attached to your adopted 3-year-old daughter?
No, it was not. It was not attached to her. And I know now, my spirit, recognizing these things now, what it was then.
Yeah. So you believe that there was a demon actually living in her little body, possessing her body?
Speaking through her, yes. Manifesting. Manifesting is the word. Yeah.
Well, manifesting, but it has to be coming from somewhere. And the reason I'm asking these questions is because we got to get real, people, everyone listening out there to Barb's story, is if we can't play around with this as if it's some movie out of Hollywood. We need to understand what this really is. When Jesus walked the face of the earth, he dealt with demons. He came face to face with them. He did that for a reason, as an example. And he told us we have the power. He transferred that power to us. So she, demon possessed, taken over by a demon, her little body. When she was 11 years old, you also heard of that same voice again. What did that voice say?
It was in total out of context. It was bizarre. She was out of control. My husband and I were trying to keep her from hurting us in the house, and he had tried to restrain her. And we asked her, what do you want? What do you want, Anna? What do you want, child? And she said, I want you to go down there. Like, totally out of context, right? But for a demon speaking, heck yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I want you to go to hell. I want to drag your whole family to hell. I don't want you to, know God. And yeah.
Do you believe that this was the same demonic voice that spoke? She was 11 years old. Do you believe the same demonic voice that spoke as when she was 3 years old? Or do you think there were various demonic forces inside of her?
I think there were various by that point.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
But when she was 8 years old, she was in the Nana's car, the babysitter, I guess. What kind of behavior was she displaying around that time of her life?
Yeah, she was very rebellious, and she didn't want to do what the nanny wanted her to do, and she threatened to go to the bathroom in the car on the seat.
Yeah.
It just things that are just not normal. This is not, and understand that I need to caveat this, that, I love my child. She did not ask for this. And you have to forgive that. You have to forgive these things. This is not her that's doing that. But the problem is, until you realize what it is, you attribute it to the kid and not to evil. And that, that's how Satan gets you off track. He makes you think that, well, you're just not parenting well enough, or you need to do better, or need some different school, or this or that. And you go all through the natural, searching for something that needs to be addressed spiritually, and you don't get any resolution, right?
Yeah.
And it's horrible, because everybody's in pain, and mostly the child's in pain. Mostly the child is tormented. It's horrible.
Yeah. I want to go back to when you adopted her. She was 2 months old on the street, and this is a story you were telling me. And she was put into an orphanage. At 1.5 years old, they wanted to do a test on her. Actually, I think they did do a test to test her for sexually transmitted disease. At 1.5 years old, Barb?
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is where trauma comes in. This is the trauma of, abuse. This is how kids their psyches get split. This is how demons enter. That spirit of rejection just gets opened up. I mean, this is this is how things start with kids.
Yeah.
It's bad enough to be, abandoned by your birth mother, but then they have further trauma and abandonment. And
right. Yeah. Do you think that your daughter, was a victim of SRA, satanic ritual abuse, an organized effort?
I wonder about it, but the point is that any trauma will split a person, whether it was organized or not. And that is an open door for Satan to take hold and to send demons in and to torment someone. And, they develop personalities to deal with that, and mechanisms to deal with it. So this is, a very spiritual thing. And that, I wonder about it. I really do. I won't ever know. But one can only.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you believe that your daughter has multiple personalities, program multiple?
I don't think she's a program multiple, but she definitely has different personalities she moves in and out of, depending on the situation. Yeah.
Okay. Just for you guys out there listening, I asked Barb if she was if she believed that her daughter, was was a program multiple. Barb said no. The difference between a program multiple and just someone with DID, dissociative identity disorder, multiple personalities, is that someone intentionally programmed someone to have these personalities for a purpose. There's a reason they go out and do what they do. For instance, someone might go out and be a mass shooter, and they've been programmed for this. I asked Barb, was she a program multiple? She believed not. I happen to agree with her. There's no signs of intentional programming, even though Satan is the programmer of it all, right? So Barb, the supernatural strength, what was that all about? How did she display, strength that wasn't natural?
The time that we really noticed it was when she was really out of control and trying to, just becoming violent. And my husband tried to restrain her to keep her from breaking things and hurting us, and he couldn't. It took two of us. He is a strong man, and she was just 11. It did not make sense in the natural. It didn't. So
yeah.
And there were other things too that point to the demonic, and that was the one incident where she spoke. I want you to go down there, and we really looked at each other and realized this is not our kid speaking, and this is something way bigger than ADHD or this or that or all the things that the doctors tried to say it was.
We are so excited right now to release this first episode of Last Evangelist. It's called Legalize Jesus, and I want you to go there right now. I want you to help pray. First of all, pray for us. But then if God leads, please donate, all right? We're doing a campaign for the next couple of months to raise money to do the marketing on this, because we finished the first episode of Last Evangelist, and now is the time to actually go and help us. You can get all these perks, T-shirts, you can be a producer, you can be in the TV series. To help us market episode 1 and fund future episodes, please go to lastevangelist.com or text evangelist to 41444 or call 844-806-0006.
David Heavener Investigates is proud to bring you End Times Investigations, a new DVD series containing over 8 hours of interviews, commentaries, and teaching on Illuminati and the New World Order, Satanism, miracles and healings, the Antichrist, and one world religion.
Hi, I'm David Heavener, and I'm proud to bring you this brand new DVD collection, End Times Investigations.
David reveals how the media is working hand in hand with the Antichrist system. Order now and receive this special DVD collection. Text bonus to 41444 or davidheavener.tv/order. Call toll free 844-806-0006.